CLO 3D as a tool. Okay. So with that said, when we transform from making pattern by hand to making pattern in computer, it's a huge learning curve for many of us. However, though, that is like a plus because we already understand the concept of designing or making pattern. We can actually apply that concept and using code to do it, which is super like helpful. However, it's not impossible if you never done garment sewing before. You can still work with clothes and apply or learn from like beginning of using clothes as well as using or sewing or designing in general. In this case, we want to understand the difference between working in 3D world versus working by hand. So working by hand, if we make mistake, we can just do it, undo it, use a blazer to cut the thread and do it, and so on. With 3D world, if we make a mistake, we kind of mess up, we have to redo it, which similar but different in a way. All right, so let me show you Etsy store here before we're gonna get back to clothes, and I will continue show you. So right here, my Etsy store, where I sell essentials such as knit textile as well as pattern, block, and some advanced pattern. And I have over here on the side, it's easy for you to browse through it. I have essential, only one item for now, but this is a digital PDF template. Let's say if you want to sell a PDF sewing, people can buy this pattern and then print it out with their home printer. You can do that because from clothes, you can bring digital pattern from clothes, place it on. By the way, I also have courses on how to make the digital PDF template as well. So if you don't want to buy them, again, I have I believe three of them. There's 3 digital sewing template for $1.99. It's such a deal. And here I have fabric, which if I click on here, see the fabric, and then we have pattern. So I have pants pattern. This is a pattern block. You can buy them and then bring into clothes, either practice sewing them or modify it to meet your need, and then you can sell your modified pattern. You can't sell this original one, of course, but you can bring in and then modify to how you like, and then you can sell it. Sell the pattern that you modify. And here, so what happened with this block, it allows you to modify on it. You don't have to start from scratch, and you use code to do it. Many people use Adobe Illustrator to do it, but I promise you that I use Adobe Illustrator before, and it's not as effective, and it's not designed for pattern making compared to clothes, because clothes workspace designed like a cutting table for us to cut the pattern, as well as sew machine to sew your garment together. It pretty much designed for the pattern making. Okay. So with that said, I'm going to, once again, guys, I do not get paid by clothes. I'm saying this because I enjoy using clothes to make pattern. And by the way, it's affordable. If you're a student, you get 50% off. Okay, so I'm going to close all these links. And by the way, guys, all these links right here that I just viewed, I will have some under the video description, so you can go in and click on the link. You will get to those links that I have it earlier, or go to my channel like I showed you earlier. All right, so I'm going to close this for now because I do not want to overwhelm the computer. All right, so now it is quite exciting, but also it's frustrated. CLO just update their interface, and one of them I'm using right now is this CLO libraries. So to the right here, this link corner right there, the icon, the blue icon there, if I click on that, this is the new library window. Okay, so there are a couple of things here to talk about. So first of all, we still work from left to right here. So to the left here, that is the home libraries. That many assets that came with CLO libraries are still in these home tabs, okay? And that home tab is still the same. This is garment. If you click on garment, you see multiple garments here. They just add a little more for us to work on, male, female. However though, just a quick tip, if you hover the mouse on this, right click, and if you do not see this add to workspace button or copy the path appear here, no worry. It means you need to download these items first. And to download them, normally they're over here. You will see this arrow. When you click on this, you will see the arrow around this area to click download, okay? And now we're gonna go down here to avatar. The same thing. Right here we have, although we add a little more right here, the community asset here. So some of them are free. You can select the free or feature. Some that sell. You can pretty much explore what is available for you and have fun with it. And over here, if we click to asset, now we are back to asset that we have in CLO libraries. All right, so to make it simpler, if you just started CLO, I would recommend explore anything in this asset folder, okay? Or you can call it asset tab. I prefer to asset tab. So in the asset tab here, we have baby, female, those are avatar, hanger, mannequin. So what I'm gonna show you here, this is to the right, we have this. So right now we have this icon view, and I can switch to list view here. So now we have this list view. So let's double click on this baby. Now you see this baby avatar and pose and accessory. So if we want to get back, click on this avatar right here. Now we get back and come over here to female. And once again, it's the same. You can simply right here, right click and then add to workspace or double click. And if you don't see that, be sure to click on this to download. In fact, right here. So if I hover the mouse over here and right click, I don't see the add to workspace. If I click on right here, for example, right click, I see add to workspace. That because we need to download this. And to download this, click on the check mark here. And then look to the right here. We have this download icon. And click on that download icon. Now it is downloading. Okay? So after we download this to the library, and you can use them as normal, add it to workspace and so on. By the way, guys, there is some tip that I want to mention, okay? So let me show you this. CLO Connect here has many of their items for free to many, let's say, to many CLO users, okay? And what they do, they have their item update all the time. So I'm going to click on home here. And let's go to my library first. I will show you and then I will come back, okay? So here, this is CLO. This is a shoe, okay? So I'm going to, let's click on that folder, okay? So if you look at right here, guys, these are free. These shoes right here are free for CLO members. So good and bad, okay? So it's a good news. They have them in the CLO Connect store. You can download them for free. However, right now you can't see the shoe because they withdraw those shoes. So as a content creator or CLO user in this case, I would recommend you guys check on CLO Connect regularly. Let's say every month go into CLO Connect and then look at their asset. download them to your library, save them into a drive. I have this 4 terabyte drive, so I'm going to store all my CLO stuff in it, so we can actually use them when we need them. Let's say, for example, right now, get it into winter, we need those boots right there. Those boots for the design, for winter design, we do need them. And let's say summer come, or fall, or spring, we want those shoes to present our design, and it's all free. All right, so now let's get back, and I want to explain a little bit more about this library before we can go back to button and buttonhole guy. All right, so get back here to library. So right now we look from left here to right, so click on this right here, right here, right here. Okay, something new about this update. So 2024.2 right now that I'm using. So something new about this, you can add new library for yourself. Let's say right here I add this library, and if I don't need it, I can right click on there and then select delete. I do not want to delete it though. I'm going to leave that one here and right here. And underneath it, I have right here emoji, and right here my knit fabric. If I double click on that, and right here my knit fabric. So you can add more over here, add a, like say a family library, for example, and here more like a sub library. You can add more folder into that library, for example. And over here you can, and if you don't want that, you can right click and then delete that if you want. And I don't want to delete it, so gonna get back here and here. Okay, so now come down here to fabric, and the same thing, you can hover the mouse over the fabric, right click, add it to workspace and so on, and here trim. And I think that's pretty much it for the 2024 update for the library. For now, this will get you caught up on where we're gonna work on this button and buttonhole, okay? All right, so now I'm going to close this. Okay, so as you can see right here, last week we had this button and buttonhole. Let me check if the size is correct. So I'm gonna go to this objects browser, click on that button, and then default button, that's what we have. And I'm going to come down here. Let's see the size. Okay, the size here said thickness, and okay, the width here 1 centimeter. So we have the correct size we want. So if I zoom in right here, this is 1 centimeter for the button. And the buttonhole, let's go over here to object browser, click on that buttonhole, and click on that default buttonhole there. We can also change the name too, but since we only have one type of button, let's say if we want to decide, okay, we have different kind of button and buttonholes on the shirt or the jacket, we want to name this or rename them. Right now, we do not need to. All right, so right here, this is the buttonhole. So about roughly 0.2 centimeter. So if I go to the right here, we have the width here 1.2 centimeter. So we already changed that last week. So we are good to go. All right, now we are going to fasten this fasten these buttonholes, okay, and button. Let's rotate this. All right, to fasten this, it's a little bit tricky, guys, but it's doable. All right, first of all, let's strengthen all the patterns. Right click my key, and then you want to select strengthen. And okay, so this, I'm going to rotate it over here. So we want to bring this up a little, just like that, okay? And we want to rotate out and bring it forward, just like that. We'll do the same with this. Bring it out a little bit. And then we want to bring this in. I think that's about right. Okay, bring this out a little more. And we do not want this to hook onto each other like that. We want to bring this down a little bit. And bring this out a little more. Okay, I think that's about right. Now we are going to simply fasten these buttons to the buttonholes. To do that, we will use the fasten button right here. the tool on this 3D toolbar, click on it to select, and we are going to marquee select all these buttons, and then come over here, and then we're gonna click one right there on that button there to place, and after that we're going to come over here and then simulate. All right, so actually it's not bad. Let's see if it's fixed, and let come over here and then help it up a little bit, and I'm going to switch the tool here to select /move tool and bring it up a little bit further, and now let's simulate again. Alright, seems like it's not successful here. I'm going to stop the simulation, and then I'm going to Command or Control plus letter Z here a couple of times. Okay, and now let's try it again. So this time I'm going to bring this further. Okay, so bring it further, and I'm going to rotate this up just a little bit too. Okay, and then I want to bring this down and rotate it down here just like that. Alright, so this time hopefully it fixed. Let's bring this down just a little bit here, and then simulate again. Alright, so if you look at right here, now it's almost perfect. However though, we have some issue here. So right now, even though it so what happened, we want this left side here beneath. So I made a mistake here. As you can see right now, we want the button stay on top. Choose me the buttonhole, okay? So what I'm gonna do here, Command Control plus letter Z here. So right now, it should be no problem when I simulate. However though, somehow it doesn't do it. So I'm going to simply click right here, and it working pretty well. So I'm going to actually try again. There is something, I'm going to simply fix this one first. Let me simply cut this. And I'm going to remove that piece for now and see if it's fixed. And let's remove it and remove that. And now let's try it again. And stop the simulation. I'm going to stop the simulation for now. So right now we have the button lay as it's supposed to be, as well as the buttonhole. Alright, so next I'm going to sew this area here. Let's unstrengthen this a little bit. And we want to sew this edge together. I'm going to use free sewing here. So we want to sew from inside out, so we can use this free sewing to measure the sewing right there. and I'm going to simulate again. So there you go. And let's sew the bottom as well. And there it is. So as you can see right here, guys, we just finished applying the button and buttonhole on top is this shirt with super easy method, and not only that, it looks realistic. Okay, so I'm going to stop the simulation here, and let's strengthen this a little bit more and to see the finished result. And I'm going to unstrengthen. All right, and right now I'm going to hide this show internal line. So if you look at right here, now we have the, so first of all, to have a button and buttonhole show, we want to change the color of the button and the buttonhole. So to have this effect, right now the button and the buttonhole kind of blend into the garment. We either change the color of the shirt a little darker, or we want to change the button. Let's try change the color of the shirt here. So click on that shirt fabric right there, come down here to property editor, and then click on this color chip right here, and I'm going to select somewhat a little bit darker. Okay, not super dark though, it's kind of white, but you don't want it so white that lose some detail of the garment. So right about there, and then click on apply and close. So right now if we look at the button right here, now we get to see the button. However though, the thread of the buttonhole is still kind of disappear. But if we zoom in closely, we can change right here the color of the button and the buttonhole. So if we come over here to this buttonhole, to object browser, click on that default button right there, and come down here to property editor and the color chip, click on that, and let's change it a little bit darker. Dark enough but not super dark. How about that? And then click on apply here, and I'm going to simply click on this eyedropper tool, and actually I'm going to press on escape and then click on this button here, and let's see if I can pick the color from that. Nope. I'm going to change that and then click on apply. Let's say apply and close here. So right now we get to see the buttonhole, but the button still super white. Let's go to this button and the object browser, click on button here, and let's click on that color again, and let's change it somewhat a little bit darker. Not super dark, but dark enough that we can see, and let's apply and close here. And let's search the tool here to select /smooth tool. So right now it is too dark. Let's go back to object browser, click on that default button, and let's change the color. Want it a little bit whitish. Apply and close. Okay, I kind of like that. And now let's go over here to select /smooth tool to get out that button tool there. So right now I kind of like the button color, and that's pretty much it, guys. We just applied the button and the buttonhole onto a garment, including change the color and the color of the buttonhole to give this realistic look. And not only that, guys, if you look at right here, we modify this top from a simple t-shirt to this button to button-up shirt. So now you have another skill in clothes 3D that you can use to fulfill your design as the designer. So right now we have the shirt. Now you can use that skill to, let's say, create a jacket, a blazer. So as you can see right here, we have this button and buttonhole, and if you want to unfasten this, it's also simple, guys. We can simply unfasten. So if we want to click on this right here, and then we can just kind of click on there to unfasten. If you click on the next one, now also the next one unfasten. So right here, so I'm going to, let's simulate. Before simulating, let's just unstrengthen, or strengthen in this case. And you want to simulate. Now if you look at right here, now you look at right here, now the shirt is unbuttoned. So see, when it's come to CLO, guy, it actually gives you this realistic, which is, you can't do that in Adobe Illustrator. You could, but it's not as realistic compared to CLO. I'm going to unbut one more, and then let's just click on simulate, to simulate, and stop the simulation, and then select /smooth tool. So now I'm going to let unstrengthen here and simulate a little bit more, and I can see right here we have the shirt right there unbuttoned, and there it is. It's quite realistic looking compared to Adobe Illustrator. It's super flat. And first of all, Adobe Illustrator, if you buy Creative Suite, it actually literally costs more now, because CLO 3D costs $500 a year. If you are a student, you only have to pay $250. So you actually only have to pay half of the, you only have to pay half if you are a student. I'm going to turn on this high quality rendering to see the realistic effects on this. And let's strengthen this a little, and then simulate one more time here. Let's change her pose a little, guys. I'm gonna use that library over there, and then come over here. We will go to avatar here, and then female and pose. My favorite pose here is number 7. Let's see if we still have number 7. There you go. Double click on that. So now they changed that to 1. I'm going to click on OK here, and let's see. So standing 1, standing 2. Let's see. Okay, so let's try to find. Okay, let's stop that for now. I'm going to unstrengthen this, and then let's simulate it one more time. I actually like this garment when it's strengthened, so I'm going to simulate here and stop, and then unstrengthen. So there it is. Now I'm going to change the background a little bit, guys. So right click on the background and format 3D background. Let's change to a different color here. How about actually black, looking pretty good. And then click on OK here, and then get into closer, and over here and bring it down just a little bit. And I'm going to snapshot this guy. Perfect. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed this evening, and today's session is finished. Next week we are going to come back and continue with probably a new topic, but still basic CLO 3D. And by the way, guys, if you guys have any question, do not hesitate to leave a comment below the video. I promise to respond and get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate